everybody! Today, Benny's gonna learn about cloud seeding! What is cloud seeding? Benny, do you know? Well, let's find out together. So the clouds are made up of water vapor, teeny weeny tiny droplets of water. That's right. And when you look up in the sky and you see the white clouds, well, they're still full of water even though it's not raining. But the water vapor is spread out inside the cloud, right? So it doesn't get sucked down to earth by gravity. But the gray clouds, they have lots and lots and lots of teeny tiny water vapor particles inside of them. In fact, they get so many water vapor particles inside of them that the cloud actually turns from a white to the gray because it's packed full of water, and the water starts sticking together and form droplets. And once the droplets get heavy enough, it falls out of the cloud back down to earth because of gravity. And that's how we get our rain or our snow and even hail. So, what does this have to do with cloud seeding? Cloud seeding is, well, you see the white cloud that's up there? That has lots of water inside the cloud, but it's not, the water isn't sticking together and getting heavy enough for gravity to pull it down. So cloud seeding is where they add particles. It's called silver iodide. That's one way they add it to the clouds, and it makes the clouds heavy. It makes the clouds heavy because the water particles begin to stick to the silver iodide particles, and the cloud can go from a white to a gray and begin to rain. So, how do they get that silver iodide up into those pretty white clouds to tell it to rain or snow? Well, there's a couple different methods. Sometimes we just shoot rockets right up into the clouds like fireworks. Sometimes we use large cannons that shoot the particles in the sky. The cannons aren't like a cannonball cannon. They're usually sitting on the ground, and there's some sort of flame that actually heats up the silver iodide enough for it to evaporate and get carried up with the wind. Certain places in high elevations, like in Colorado, they use these ground-based silver iodide cannons to help it snow. Sometimes we use airplanes that will fly above the clouds and light flares that burn while they're flying, which releases the silver iodide into the sky, and then that falls down into the cloud. So, the question is, why do we use cloud seeding and tell the cloud when to rain? Well, let's see. In Colorado, they want to make sure it rains in the mountains for the ski resorts. They use those ground-based silver iodide cannons to help it snow. It helps the people with their power and their water, because the more snow on the mountain means more water flowing down the mountain. And that means more water for drinking, and more water for animals to drink, and more water for us to turn into electricity. Do you know what else? They can use cloud seeding to clear the fog away from the drivers and turn it into rain. That helps improve visibility around airports and cities and just everywhere because it's hard to see through the fog. And some places use cloud seeding so it won't get really bad when it hails. You gotta think, hail is like ice rocks coming down from the sky, and if they get too big and they bonk you on the head, ow, that's gonna hurt. So they use cloud seeding to kind of make it hail or rain earlier before the hail gets too big. This is going to help it not hurt when it hits you, and it's going to reduce the damage. Can you think about all the dents in the top of your car? And in certain places, cloud seeding can even be used to help put out forest fires. That's right, if there's a cloud good enough in the area, they can add that silver iodide, and the rain will help put out the fire. Another thing that cloud seeding can help with is when we have droughts and the crops won't grow because it's too hot and they don't have enough water. So we can add the silver iodide to the clouds that wouldn't normally rain, and it would rain and help the crops grow. It has even in certain places turned a desert into some grass. How cool is that? Cloud seeding isn't all good though, because there are some dangers to it. For one, we're adding a bunch of silver iodide into the sky, and scientists don't know exactly what that's going to do to the ground yet. We don't know how that's going to affect the air quality, and we don't know if that's going to affect the ground when the water hits it with the silver iodide and it soaks in. But it could be toxic, especially to like fish and things that live in the water, because that silver iodide is now going to fall into that water source too, right? Think about all the fishies. Now they got silver iodide in their eye. Another problem with adding the silver iodide into the clouds and making it rain is if we add too much silver iodide, we could actually create a superstorm. In fact, we could make it snow or hail or rain and thunder and lightning way too much. Much more so than we ever wanted to, by accident, because we added too much. And another cloud seeding potential problem is if we add silver iodide to the cloud and make it rain here, but that cloud would have rained somewhere else in another state or another city or someplace else. Well, guess what? Now it's not going to rain there because the cloud's going to leave all the water here and not have any water left for there. So we have it here now when it was going to be there, but we got it here so it's not there. So we could actually cause a drought in another part of the country or the world because we're taking the rain out of the clouds right here. So some of the potential benefits is having more weather. We can make it rain more, which helps us with our crops and our electricity and our fish and our drinking. We can help grass grow in the desert. We can knock down forest fires and we can clear fog. But there's a lot of potential other negative things, and the scientists, well, they still got a lot of work to do. They got to let us know if it's silver iodide is safe for us to use, if we really should use it, and how much should we use, and all those things that those big brain scientists need to figure out. So, Benny, did you learn a little bit about cloud seeding today? Cloud seeding, yeah!
Gonna get my cloud seeded now. Gonna get my cloud seeded now.